what you believe in may be different from mine, and what I believe in may be different. I don't mind. Believe what you think, and I believe in mine. And in the end, we all living life. What you believe in, I don't mind. Our views and their views may not be the same. Mutual love and respect brings peace. I don't mind. They believe.
It's another very wonderful episode for The Believe on KAFTAN Television. And my name is Prince Alex, your very wonderful host. All right, today we have another very interesting topic, which is gambling. Gambling is an activity characterized by a balance between winning and losing, governed by a mixture of skill and chance, unusually with money wagered on the outcome. Generally, in modern application, the act of gambling is sometimes referred to as betting on the occurrence of a future event. Those who gamble often are not thinking rationally about the risk. Instead, they are thinking about luck and superstition. It can encourage laziness rather than work. My questions to you viewers is it morally right for people to gamble, or is gambling a sin? We will review more of this after the break. Stay tuned.
Mutual love and respect brings peace.
Welcome back. It's still The Believe on KAFTAN Television, and yes, we've been looking at gambling. Gambling is booming in Africa, driven by the growth of online betting. Opinions about gambling vary across religions. Religious groups that believe in more than one god, e.g., Buddhism, Hinduism, tend to have more positive views about gambling when compared to groups that only believe in only one god. In many traditional non-Western societies, gamblers may pray to the gods for success and explain wins and losses in terms of divine will. Gambling and religion have certain elements in common, such as notions of the unknown, mystery, and fate, as well as imagery of suddenly receiving something of great value that changes life for the better. Morality or ethics has been at the heart of the controversies regarding gambling because of some people consider it as unethical. The consideration of gambling as an immoral act is largely attributed to religious beliefs and the stigma of obtaining money relatively for nothing. In Islamic terminology, gambling referred to as masir or kimar. Sorry, I'm not an Islam. So interchangeably, which means betting and wagering. Islam is a world religion with a strong emphasis on monotheism and a constant rejection on gambling. In Islamic societies, gambling is either totally forbidden or very restricted. From its origin, Christianity has been critical of gambling. Early church councils forbade games of chance, and up to the time of the Reformation of the church in general viewed gambling as unsinful and reprehensible. After the Reformation, the current liberal attitude of the Roman Catholic Church towards gambling gradually emerged. Games of chance are not themselves a decade of interfaith amity and ecumenical dialogue has done nothing to the blunt differences between Protestants and Catholics on the question of gambling, as Protestants are of the opinion that gambling is wrong. Now, I have two guests in the studio. Reverend Father Chiemeka Utazi. You're welcome to the program once again, sir.
Thank you.
It's nice having you once again.
Thank you.
All right, and we have Mallam Lukeman, Akinbola. Mallam Lukeman, how are you doing today?
Okay.
It's nice having you once again in the studio. All right, thank you, viewers, for lending us your ear for this period of time. Quickly, I will start by Reverend Father Chiemeka Utazi. Reverend Father, yes, I know you have several wealths of wisdom, and we want to just draw a bit from it. In your own view and according to your religion, where do you place gambling?
Gambling intrinsically, that means in itself, is not evil. Intrinsically, it is not a sin because it's a game. It's a game of either you win or you lose.
Okay.
However, gambling would lead a person to not just a sin, but a very grievous sin. Because, I give you a typical example. If you are a gambler, you can get addicted to gambling. It's like playing draft. It's a simple game of draft. But you can get addicted to it because you have a very wrong misconception in your mind that a miracle is going to, manners are going to fall from the sky without you planting the trees. You hope to harvest a very chunk wealth from nowhere. So that could actually make a person to take the money that is meant for his own personal survival and the money that is meant to help those who are placed under his care to waste it in the name of gambling.
Okay, gambling intrinsically is not a sin. That means gambling in itself is not a sin. However, it can lead someone to sin. I need clarification because something that can lead someone to sin, how is it not a sin?
A temptation is not a sin.
Okay.
Temptation will lead you to sin. When you are tempted to do something bad, you can either choose to do it or choose not to do it.
So gambling is like a temptation?
Something like.
Okay, I will just pause there for a while. Mallam Lukeman. Okay, over to you. Yes, your religion forbids gambling. From your religion, you see it as a sin. Now, how will you describe this quickly?
Actually, gambling in our religion of Islam, because Islam as a religion is a religion that places much emphasis on the value of humanity.
Okay.
And is a religion of reality.
Okay.
According to Quran, because everything that we do in Islam, we don't just do it. Okay. We don't do anything out of our own volition. We have something that guides us to do, whether to do or not to do. So we Muslims, we believe in two books. That's the Quran and Hadith. So these are the guidance for us to follow. And in it, we have a various verses that establish the fact that gambling is a great sin.
Okay.
One of them in the Quran, when we check Quran 2, verse 219, the Quran says, "Oh Muhammad, they will be asking you, they will come and ask you about gambling. Tell them that gambling itself is a sin. It's a great sin. Very a great sin that you cannot even compromise because of some other things that will come after it." So in short, gambling in Islam is what? It's a sin. Also, we have other verses in the Quran. When we check Quran 5, that is Surah Al-Ma'idah from verses 91 to 92. The Quran says, "Oh, you who believe, intoxicants," that is alcohol. The Quran is talking about alcoholism. Also, gambling and the other practices that are not virtue, that you should not do it because it is what? Handiwork of shaitan. Fashtanibu la'allakum tuflihu. Do away with all these practices in case if you wish to be successful. So that establishes the fact that success we can only see success from the injunctions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by obeying the commandment of Allah, of which Allah has already told us that gambling, anybody who does it will never achieve success. For you to achieve success in life, which everybody is looking towards, some people that are gambling, they want success, but Allah has told us that for you to achieve that success right away from this world as well as hereafter, you must obey Him by not doing what He forbids.
I want to quickly jump in. Sorry, you said to achieve success, you should do away with gambling.
Gambling.
But history has it that we have individuals who have achieved success through gambling. For instance, the gambling companies are successful. For instance, some individuals have engaged into gambling and are successful. So is this contradicting what the Prophet is saying?
Holistically, success in Islam does not restricted to this word. The success, for us to have a complete success, success must be attained in this life. When you go back to your Creator, you must achieve success. Success in this life, without success in the hereafter, we don't consider it as a success.
Okay.
That's not now. You must balance. for you to achieve success here and success in the eternity where we are going, you must what? You must balance it. That's the meaning of success. For people involving themselves in gambling and achieve so many things, the lost street of this world, does not mean that they are successful.
Okay.
If eventually they lose that success with their God, with their Creator. And also, this, we are talking about gambling. Gambling does not involve single individual. It's a group of people that will contribute resources together, and only one of them will win, while other people will lose, and they create a very kind of sadness moment for them. So what we are saying is that gambling, our Islam does not allow it, because if you involve in it, there's no way you will do what? You will achieve success. For you to achieve success, according to Quran 5, verses 91 to 92, it said you must what? You must not involve yourself in that act, because it is handiwork of Shaitan, Satan.
Okay, I will just come back to you, but viewers, if you can see, I think we are having two different opinions right here in the studio, but I think we will still meet at a point. But quickly, Father, I want to ask this. Yes, you said something that gambling is not necessarily a sin, intrinsically a sin, but could lead to sin. And we know that gambling is a game of luck. And anybody venturing into this game, gambling, that particular person actually wants to profit from it. So I still want a bit of clarification from that previous explanation of yours. Yes, people can get addicted to it. Now, how is it possible to play this game without being addicted?
Now, I'll begin by telling you that gambling is actually a kind of a staking. Staking, like somebody has money, because you don't play the gambling game without money. Even if it's 1 naira, you have money, and you want to stake your money with the hope you are going to double it or triple it or multiply it into millions. You take 1,000 naira and you get 100 million naira. That's always the hope. Now, the person who is putting his last
is that
money...
not selfishness?
I'm coming. You asked me a question. Now, the person who is putting that money, staking that money, or betting that money, knows the risk that he could actually lose that money 100%. And everything is gone. Now, if the person goes into playing that game, gambling, there are 2-3 people involved, like my brother just said. The danger there is, firstly, the parties are not just in themselves. Like he said, there are 3 people involved. All of them put 1,000 naira, and you think you are going to get 1 million naira from 1,000 naira. And the owner of the company is harvesting money from you. I give you a typical example. Big Brother Nigeria is a gambler. It's a gambling game. Because the contestants pay money to contest. Maybe I don't know how much they pay, 1 million naira or 2 million naira, and you get 45 million naira or 100 million naira. And then the viewers, the voters, each one of us pays 100 naira, and you can vote as many times as possible. So at the end of the day, the organizers of that program get billions, and then they give you 100 million naira. And the billions are coming from you and you. The rest of us contribute the money in order to sustain them. So the owners of the company, actually the first gamblers, and then the rest of us participate in their own imaginary creation, thinking that we are going to harvest millions from them. So practically it is selfishness. But more than being selfishness, it is a game that makes you lack reasonability, because the person who gets addicted doesn't think left and right. If a reasonable person thinks left and right, definitely you can't get addicted. When you see a risk involved, you can easily pull out. But most people don't see the risk, they see only the hope.
So a lot of them just view luck instead of both luck and hope, failure.
Yeah, and then they depend their entire life on luck. And you cannot depend your entire life on luck. You need to work in order to eat.
All right, Mallam, Tawfiq, I'm sorry, Lukeman. I want to ask this. You said your religion is against gambling, and you've explained vividly how your religion kicked against it. But I want to just bring an analogy. Someone who involves in business, for instance, a tomato seller who goes way to the north to buy tomatoes and coming to the south to sell it, please, and hoping that I will sell it at this amount. Is that not hope for gambling? I will want you to reply this after the break. Viewers, after the break, we'll continue with the interesting topic. Stay tuned.
Mutual love and respect brings peace. They believe. Mutual love and respect brings peace. They believe.
Welcome back. It's still the Believe on KAFTAN Television, and Reverend Father Chiemeka and Mallam Lukeman is still in the house. Okay, before the break, I asked this question, that a tomato seller who goes way north to buy tomatoes and comes to the south to sell the tomatoes at a different rate from that which she got it, is that not gambling?
All right.
Do you see that as business?
All right. According to Islam, Islamic law, we have Islamic Sharia, and Islam really enjoins us to transact business. In fact, because Islam wants us to be rich,
Okay.
but in what? In a lawful way.
Okay.
So Islam does not encourage laziness. And business is very, very important, because one of the pillars of our religion is you give zakat, charity. So without having money, what we want to use? So Islam wants you to engage yourself,
Okay.
to strive, to anything that will add value to you. So according to the question you asked me about is a tomato seller, that one is different. It is obvious, because as a businessman or a businesswoman, it is not always that your business will be profitable.
Okay.
And you already know that. Do you understand now? It's different from gambling. That you don't even know the risk involved. The risk, and what I mean by that is that you are just gambling, you don't know whether you are going to win or you are going to lose.
Okay.
But this woman, because Islam does not put limits to how far you can make your profits. You understand now?
Okay.
So you go as far as north and you come back and you sell. If today eventually you make profits, it's okay. But if eventually the reverse is the case, there's no problem. Tomorrow you are still going to make it, because you are still in line. Because Islam wants us to do what? To work.
Okay.
Islam wants us to eat from the sweat, from our sweat. It's not like
That I'm not sweating naturally, does it mean that I'm not working?
you are working,
Okay.
right? But when Prophet was saying sweaty, it does not really mean that this thing should come out of your body.
Okay.
But to strive, to make efforts, rather than just relaxing according to what my colleagues have just said, that okay, some people just, what we are saying is that you must work. The other people, the gamblers and the lies, they want to get benefit from what they do, what they did not work for. That's what they are expecting. They did not work for it. They are just waiting for chance. A game of chance. Whether I'm going to, it's 50-50. At the end of the day, they may not even get it. Even if they eventually, that's what they are expecting is getting to them, they are still going to invest. At the end of the day, there's no way they will get it right. Okay. But from what you put, what you do with this thing, you strive, you are going to get it. So that's what Islam says. For you to make profits, to travel, to transact business all over the country, you are okay. Islam encourages that. Islam allows that. Islam, even though, in fact, I don't know what to say, but for you to sit in your room or just have a shop anywhere and you are pumping your money, you are investing your money, so with the hope of getting it back. This thing is not good, because even though if you get it, you are already, some other people, some other persons, they will be at loser. They will not get it.
Okay.
And then you create a perpetual sadness for them. So Islam wants equity.
Okay.
Want everybody to enjoy. There's nothing wrong about 2 or 3 persons coming together and say, okay, we want to invest in a particular business. That business, there will be business plan, there will be an agreement, not always that we will be making profits. The day profit comes, all of us, we are going to share it according to our base capital that we invested. If loss come, the same thing is going to be applicable. Other than say, no, today you must get it, or you must. No. Islam wants you to strive, to work. Something that is concrete.
Okay.
Not something that is just putting your money like that. No, Islam does not want it.
Okay.
At all.
Okay, sorry, but I want to get the opinion of Father here. I just made an analogy of a tomato seller.
Okay.
And I'm asking if the hope of selling at a profitable rate, if it's not gambling.
Now, I give you a typical example. Trading and gambling are not the same thing.
Okay.
Somebody lives in Ondo. Let's say a painter of tomatoes in Ondo is sold at 5,000 naira.
Okay.
And you hear that a painter of tomatoes is sold in Kano at 300 naira. And you are in Ondo. Now you calculate my transportation from Ondo to Kano, my accommodation, my feeding, give and take, you spend 50,000 naira to go to Kano and come back. And so you, as you have finished making your calculation, you put your money together, put your resources together, take a transportation, go to Kano, buy your tomatoes, come back and sell it at 5,000 naira. You are not gaining 5,000 naira. You have removed all your expenses. This is a good calculation you made before you ventured into the business. So it is not gambling.
I'm saying it from this perspective that the hope of selling for 5,000 naira when you get back, after your calculations and all, then you're coming back, you discover that the price is no longer the same. Maybe way below the cost price.
The thing
so
is
as at that moment,
now, you are not gambling.
Okay.
You have a hope because you have done your calculations before you went. Now, probably you miscalculated. Probably you got a wrong information, but I'm sure you wouldn't venture into that business if you are not into the business initially. Now, if somebody informed you and you venture into it, we call it you have gambled with your money, but that's a mistake. A mistake comes once in a while. If you keep repeating the same mistake, it is no longer a mistake. Gambling is a mistake that is being repeated over and over and over. So buying a tomato and losing in the business at once, you go, you reshuffle yourself, you do a better calculation, I'm sure you're not going to lose again. That is called trading. But a gambler knows, 100% I can lose my money, but I still believe I can get 10 times of what I put. He will put. Tomorrow he will put again. Next tomorrow he will put again. At the end of the day, he gets depressed. He goes into drinking, he goes into smoking, he goes into stealing, he goes into all kinds of things because his hopes are not being met and he's growing. Every day that passes, another day is added to his life. And then eventually he looks back, he sees his classmates and his friends doing well, and he's still putting more money. So that's where the problem comes. And the difference is very clear. Proper business and gambling.
So would you say, because I need to get this right,
Okay.
we have those who engage into monetary trading, like the forex market and all that. Will you see that as gambling also?
Partly yes, partly no.
Okay.
Partly yes, because there are those who are really good in it. Forex is a trading, it's a business. There are people who sit down day and night with their calculator doing the magical movement of the graphs, and they can guess, they can predict the movement of
predictions in gambling also.
Prediction in business and prediction in gambling. Prediction is a word that can be used, can be applied in either of the cases. Now, somebody can predict the movement of the slope of the graph because he has studied it over the years. And if it falls to him, he wins, he gains. If he loses, he loses. But I'm sure he wouldn't stake 100% of his life into the business. If he does, then he's a gambler. Because if he loses, he will lose everything. I know somebody who came to tell me that he put all his money into cryptocurrency and he was doing well. And then one of his friends came and told him, sorry, you can do what they call futures trading. You can multiply your money. And then he went into futures when he wasn't good. And then eventually all his money got liquidated. And he ran to me and said, sorry, did you run to me before you entered into the cryptocurrency?
Okay.
No. This is what we call gambling. He gambled with his money and he lost it. But I'm sure he's not going to repeat it again. That's why we say it is in itself, it is not a sin, because if you repeat it again and again, you cannot be repeating the same mistake and you call it a mistake. It can no longer be a mistake. It's intentional.
Okay. I want us to get somewhere. Now, but please, quickly. Gambling is prohibited. That means, it simply means owning a gambling business is a sin. Is that true?
Yes.
Owning a gambling business is a sin.
Yes.
All right. So then, what is now business aside from buying and selling in Islam?
Anything that involves, business in Islam, we regard business in Islam as something that you can transact. Islam does not anything that involves abstract, that comes in abstract way,
okay,
that you cannot touch. Something like that.
Anything not tangible.
Tangible.
It's not business.
It's not business. Because business, you can't say you are transacting business with only one person. Business must involve two or more persons, people. Do you understand now?
Okay.
So why are we saying that you are transacting, you didn't see the person, right? We're just talking maybe through any means like that. No, we don't regard them as business. That is it. Even though the example he gave, like that of forex and the likes, in Islam condemns it because of what? You may not see the person you are transacting with, and you are at risk. You may not even see your money at the end of the day. And Islam does not want it. That's why Islam prohibits such a thing. So anything that is abstract and you are calling it business, no, we don't. Islam does not recognize such a business. That's just about. So about whether the owner of the business is a sinner or not. Yes, because in Islam, anything, you cannot just look at any issue from the top. You have to look at it from the From the business. Okay. So, according to Islam, there is a principle in Islamic law that says that aslu kulli shay'in mubaha illa bin nas. Fundamentally, everything is permissible in Islam. Fundamentally, everything is permissible. To wear clothes is permissible. To eat food is permissible. To transfer business is permissible. Except there is evidence that says that thing is not lawful. So in the Quran already told categorically that all these things, gambling, intoxicants, idolatry, and lies, they are what? They are abomination. Meaning, Amalu Shaitan, Fashtelibu. They are handiwork of Shaitan. And you must run away from them. La'allakum tuflihu. If and only if you want to be successful. So that's just it. That makes it what? Unlawful business. Okay. So
gambling is unlawful in Islam. Yes. Okay, quickly, Father, I just want to get your opinion on this. Time is actually against us, but quickly, I want you to tell us, owning a gambling business, is it advisable? Now, you said something that gambling in itself is not a sin, but can lead one to sin. Now, owning the business that can lead one to sin, is it a sin?
I'll answer you like the owners of the football clubs like Chelsea and Manchester United. Football is a gambling game. Like every country that is going to play the World Cup hopes to come back with the cup, but only one country will go home with the cup. So all the countries going into the World Cup, they are actually gambling. Gambling because they believe they're going to get the cup. So it is a game. It depends on how you play the game. If you're a rough player, or if you're a good player. If you're the owner of Chelsea, and Chelsea is going to play with Manchester United, and there is a trophy at the end of the game, you believe and you hope that your team is going to win. And of course, you know, there are many people who put money whenever their team is playing. And You don't know who is going to win until the game is over. So owning a company is not a sin. There's nothing wrong in investing your money into a company.
That leads people to sin.
The person who is going to sin, when you say a company that leads people, it's like going to open a prostitution house. It's not the same as opening a prostitution house.
Okay.
A prostitution house is a house that is known to accommodate harlots. But having a company like Bet Niger, for example, or Bet King, for example, it is not a sin to own such a company. There's nothing evil in owning the company. But the person who is going to put the money into the company, there are people who go there, they don't put all their resources into the business. I mean, they don't put all their money into betting. Somebody can go there and bet 1,000 naira and go to watch his football and goes home because he has a family. But when you lose your sense, that is where the problem comes. So I don't blame the people who own the company. I don't blame them, because if the federal government of Nigeria accommodates them, if they don't accommodate them, they wouldn't be spreading everywhere in Nigeria because they pay tax as a company. So personally, and in Christianity, there's nothing wrong in owning a company. But then owning the company, you have a moral obligation to play.
All right. Let's just get a final word from you to those who are engaged in gambling out there.
I condemn gambling because if you gamble and you lose your resources, you suffer and the people around you suffer. So please do not gamble.
All right, thank you so much. Mallam Lukeman, yes, I know your religion condemns gambling, but let's just give us a final word.
Please, according to popular saying, ends justify the means. No, Islam is not like that. Islam places more cognizance, emphasis, both on the means and the ends. There's no way you tell us that the means is okay and the ends bad, or the ends is bad but the means is okay. No, everything must be in order. You must obey your creator. So I want to encourage the viewers at home to know that gambling is out of shaitan. It is not good. It is handiwork of shaitan. One, it is wasteful. We are going to waste your resources. It is exploitative in nature. And finally, you disobey your creator when you involve yourself in it. And anybody who disobeys his creator is going to face the wrath. Is going to receive the punishment when he finally go back to his creator.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for your words of wisdom. I think viewers, you've heard from Mallam Lukeman, and he has said it's all his religion and those practicing it are against gambling. And just as he has said, it's written in the Quran, as well as Reverend Father who said, according to him, it's not a sin in itself, but it leads to sin. Just as I have said, as he has also advised that you should desist from just live away, do away with gambling because of it exploits you. Father, I want to say thank you once again. Thank you so much for gracing our studio once again. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And Mallam Lukeman, thank you again. All right, being devoted to the beliefs of one religion has been shown to be a protective factor for engaging in addictive behavior. It all depends on one's perspective and interpretation. The Bible doesn't directly address gambling, and such silence provides the fertile ground for discussion and disagreement. Opinions on the prosperity of gambling range from acceptance in moderation to total abstinence, depending on one's belief and religion. Thank you so much for your wonderful time. Until I come your way next time, I'm Prince Alex. Bye for now.
What you believe in may be different from mine, and what I believe in may be different. I don't mind. Believe what you think, and I believe in mine. And in the end, we all living life. What you believe in, I don't mind. Our views and their views may not be the same. Mutual love and respect brings peace.